When we look at all of the young superstars in the sport of boxing, we can't help but think after it's all said and done, after all of the major fights have been made, who will really live up to the hype and come out on top? In today's video, we will dive into the person who I think will be the face of boxing 5 to 10 years down the line, and that person is none other than Shakur Stevenson. We're going to dive into and break down Shakur's start and the reason I believe he's the most skilled out of all of the prospect boxers. Shakur Stevenson was born in Newark, New Jersey. He was named after Tupac Shakur, so that's already big boots to fill. He was introduced into boxing by his grandfather Wally Moses at a young age and instantly flourished in the game. Stevenson became a top amateur, winning international tournaments and multiple titles. Something important to mention, he faced both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia as an amateur. Devin in sparring at the Mayweather gym, which is a classic sparring match, it's still on YouTube by the way, and Ryan he beat in the amateurs. He went on to compete in the 2016 Rio Olympics where Floyd came out to show his support, and he just came up short winning a silver medal, but just like Floyd Mayweather, this instilled a fire in him to never want to taste defeat again. He was signed to Top Rank and was taking out everyone in the pro ranks. Already having a style that's more suited to the pro game, he was bound to be a star. We saw Shakur tear through opponents in a special way, did it without getting hit. It all seemed too good to be true. Everyone claimed he could only perform like this because of the low level of opposition, until he stepped up against the likes of Jamel Herring, where we saw Shakur perform better than he ever has before, putting on a career best performance, stopping Herring. This already tells me that Shakur is a fighter that increases in level depending on how good his opponent is. He then went on to fight Oscar Valdez, another undefeated fighter and someone with much more experience and much older. This was a huge fight at the time. Shakur and Valdez were the two top names in the super featherweight division, and this fight would settle who was the king at 130 pounds. Shakur really came into this fight as an underdog, but we saw Shakur stay calm and collected and confident, dismantling Valdez, making it look easy, winning all 12 rounds comfortably. Never seen Shakur hurt or even struggle too much against these big names has to raise the question, how good is Shakur? Only time will tell, but with all of the other lightweights, we've seen them all dropped or hurt against a slight step up in opposition. So that already tells me that Shakur's in the lead. You can watch any Shakur Stevenson fight, and in my opinion, it's difficult to find even a round that he's lost. Not only have we seen him do this barely getting hit, we've seen him do it in his confident and flashy style, which is almost scary. Now let's break down his boxing and why I think he's so good. Two simple words: defense and IQ. If you know boxing, you know how insane Shakur's IQ is. Ever since being young, watching him closely and studying him, you can see how calculated he is with every little move. He really is 2 to 3 steps ahead of his opponent at all times. A lot of people like to call him boring, but I don't think they really understand the sweet science. As someone who studies boxing in depth and enjoys not just the fight game, but the breakdown and smarts behind everything, watching Shakur perform is like poetry in motion and really is the closest thing to chess in boxing. And for all those haters saying he's boring or has no power, we're now starting to see him mature, develop into that power, sit down on his punches more, and well, you saw his last fight, he dropped him twice and just completely destroyed him. The way he's able to set up his combinations is insane. It seems like anything this man throws, he lands it perfectly. The reason for this, like I said, is the way he sets them up. He plays with his opponent's mind and makes them think he's going elsewhere. His level changes and feints make him so unpredictable. And the last time I saw this kind of accuracy in combinations was watching Floyd Mayweather, but more specifically, his Pretty Boy Floyd era. I think Pretty Boy Floyd and Shakur have a lot of similarities. That should give you an idea on how clever Shakur is and the mental level he's on at this age. He's able to think just so quickly. And yes, I've seen a lot of other young fighters set up clean counters and box smart too, but I'm yet to see any of them as calculated as Shakur. Everything he does is second nature to him. He's like the kid that doesn't study for the test but still aces the exam. That's how easy he makes it look. Next time you watch him fight, I suggest you look at his eyes. Always laser focused looking for openings. Okay, next up, his defense. This is his biggest asset, as you probably already know. His insane head movement can make his opponents miss by just a fraction, but apart from this, as a casual fan, you'd think Shakur's defense is not anything too crazy, as it's not as flashy as other fighters. But this is where we dive into Shakur's biggest strength in my opinion, his footwork and his distance perception. You have to look really closely to see this, but as the great Andre Ward said, the first line of defense should always be your feet.
The way I was taught was feet first, and it's basic, there's nothing exciting about it, but it's foundational work where we sit in the mirror and we bring our feet with our hands.
When we watch Shakur, we can see he's always in a range that's perfect for him, a range that he's comfortable at where he can hit and easily evade his opponent's attacks. This is the reason his opponents always seem to come up short when throwing. We see Shakur making small adjustment steps constantly to get himself in the perfect position. This kind of distance management is very high level stuff, and is the main reason he's as skilled as he is. He said it himself, once he has his distance perfected, he'll be unstoppable. I have to agree with that. You can't hit what you can't get near. But what do you guys think? Is Shakur Stevenson gonna live up to the hype? Will he be the face of boxing? In my opinion, he's very, very close to already being the face of boxing. I genuinely believe Shakur would dominate divisions and out of everyone, be the one to retire undefeated. But let us know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash a like. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you check out our previous video on Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. A massive fight coming up in less than 2 weeks. And yeah, subscribe if you enjoy content like this, and we'll catch you in the next one.